How many times have you been stung in your life?
Oh, a day?
Oh, this is not sounding pleasant.
Yeah. I'm Randy Oakley, and my dad got his first beehives in 1975, and we became, commercial beekeepers. I was raised doing that, and so my son's a third-generation beekeepers, and we do live honeybee removal from here to Austin, and a lot of those bees are what we use in our operation. That we're trying to bring those genetics of survivor stock into our breeding program. We make honey, which we sell local honey. We produce bees that we sell in the springtime, and we teach beekeeper training. This just goes over your head with the seam in the back. This is the front.
Okay.
And it goes under your arms.
Thank you. I gotta tell you, man, I'm pretty buzzed about this.
Scared with my shirt being open.
Yeah, you probably should be.
So this is a smoker, and smoke is used to help the bees remain calm. Bees communicate by means of scent, by pheromones. They have alarm scent they get off when they're disturbed, and so the smoke, when you use that, it helps diffuse that alarm scent. It has the effect of calming them down. So. This is a hive tool, a pry bar. We use it for prying things apart because bees glue everything together with propolis, which they gather from the resin from buds of trees. And so they use it to disinfect their beehive, like varnish the inside. They make a little glue with it. So, this is the one we just started, so it's not very populous. Now here's a nectar being made into honey here, the liquid stuff, and that's their calorie source. So you need both the proteins and the calorie. This one has no what we call eggs or larvae because they're queenless right now. They keep all the different areas together. Where all the baby bees are, it's all gonna be together. It's like a chicken nest. Chicken doesn't lay an egg here and lay an egg there and over there. She's got incubators, so she puts them all together. So I'm gonna look at the parent hive first. You want to brush these down there because they belong down there. This is a screen. They can't get up and down. They're different entrances. Kind of like a duplex or something.
That is a lot of bees. Wow.
Yeah.
So this is a feeder where we feed sugar syrup to them and they eat it. We're going to take it out so we can have plenty of room to work with the frames. And this is a box I added to here on the 9th. So about 2 weeks ago. You can see what they've done with it.
Wow, there's a lot more in that one.
Yeah, so they're putting, you can see the liquid there. This is actually their honey chamber. They're starting to make excess honey, which that's what we'll harvest once they, whenever they gather the nectar, it's about 75% moisture, and they take it into the honey stomach and fly back to the beehive and regurgitate it into the cells, and they fan their wings and create a evaporative current in there. They're going to evaporate it down to about 18% moisture. At that point it's cured, it won't ferment, and they cap it over with a wax capping, and it's ready, it's good. And definitely, they found honey in the pyramids and it was still good.
Oh wow.
This is a, we call it foundation, the pattern that we give them to work off of, where we want them to put the comb. And they haven't done anything this yet, so.
Yeah, this
got a
one
little
looks
bit here.
more shallow than the other one.
Right, so a little bit right here, they're starting to put a little wax on there. The queen bee has been laying eggs, and so these are all capped over pupae, which they're going to hatch out into adult bees.
Oh, wow.
And over here is the worm-like white things, that's larvae. And then if you go further here, there's eggs. So eggs are going to hatch into larvae, and the larvae is going to spin in a cocoon and make a pupae. It's a complete metamorphosis like a butterfly, as egg, larva, pupae, and then adult. So that's a good looking frame of brood. This is a frame of foundation. They're putting the wax on there.
So where it's
See?
more elevated, that's from the bees producing wax?
Right. So this is going to be that same height. It's all going to be the same height. Probably, 2 weeks ago it was all just the stuff up here, the plastic.
Yeah.
And they've added that all.
That's in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Have you spotted a queen?
Have not. Which we don't always see her because there's 30,000 bees in there right now. So, but as long as we see eggs, it's a good indication she's there because it takes an egg 3 days to hatch into a larva. So we're always looking for eggs when we do an inspection to make sure she's been there recently. Together. Wintertime is not nearly as much. This time of year it's more often because they're increasing their population more rapidly. We have to make sure they don't get too full. And then down there is the bottom board, which shows you when we get back into the training center what that looks like. Here, so that leads to the bottom board for them. There.
Interesting. It's kind of like a door.
Right.
So this one's going to the top?
Yes, sir. So you have pollen called pollen baskets. And it's like Velcro. They actually they give them to a bloom of a flower, and as they're gathering nectar, the pollen granules from the anthers are going to get on the bees on their hair, and as they fly back to the hive, they're taking their legs and combing themselves and packing in their back legs. So don't ask me how they do that while they're flying. That's what they're doing while they're flying. Okay. This is a drone bee, which is he's more chubby than the worker bees here. These are all worker bees.
What's the difference between the drone bee? What's his job?
Well, he's the male. He mates with the virgin queen, so that's his only purpose. The worker does all the functions of the hive. It's a non-fertile female bee in the hive. And this time of year is anywhere from 30 to 40,000 worker bees, and probably about 200 or 300 drone bees and 1 queen.
How long do bees live?
This time of year, a worker bee is going to live about 6 weeks. She literally works herself to death. She flies her wings off. In wintertime, she'll probably live 2 to 3 months because she's not flying as much.
How long does a queen live?
Anywhere from 2 to 4 years, generally.
That's a long
We
one.
re-queen our beehives, or install new queens every year in all our beehives. Helps them stay productive. There's the queen.
Oh wow. That looks so cool. I feel like she's trying to move people out of the way.
Gotta find me a cell. Dropped this egg in. I really gotta go. Yeah.
So she's looking for a cell to.
Yeah. See,
To
they're starting
lay
to
an
put nectar in her cells. So you know you're starting to make honey whenever they start filling in the brood nest with that liquid there. It's time to add another box, because if they get too congested in the brood nest, then they're going to want to divide. Where the old queen will take half the bees and fly out, look for a new cavity, and they'll make a new queen. That's one way that honeybees propagate the species, is by dividing in the springtime.
That's so interesting. Well, I guess I would never out and about just see a bee that close where I could see the pollen. But
So you see, some have orange, some have yellow. Depending on the flower, different flowers are going to give you different color pollen. So actually, bluebonnet pollen is actually red.
oh wow. Let me see it.
Yeah, so they're not gathering from bluebonnets right now as much as other stuff. So, on the front of their head there. So they kind of see in a mosaic.
Okay.
And they have some type of infrared type vision that sees flowers and colors different than we do.
Yeah, I was looking at the spectrum of like maybe to not wear a certain color, and it's saying that they're real attracted like the darker violet. Is that
Oh,
true?
yeah.
Or
Well, only thing I know is that dark colors, if they're going to be aggressive, they're going to go for dark colors. So it's best not to wear like black or dark blue or something like that.
Dark colors.
Yeah,
Asking for it.
I'm in trouble.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I've been trying to convince my wife to let me have a hive in our backyard. Would you just tell her it's okay?
what's your pitch?
Her name's Nikki. Say, Nikki,
Nikki,
it's okay.
if your husband will come to our class, we have an all-day class.
Oh,
we're teaching in May,
fantastic.
and we'll teach them all our management. Get started on the right foot, and then we have half-day, once a month training, take you through the year process. And so, if you'll commit to, that process, then I think you'll be successful and be able to keep your bees healthy and happy and nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Do it, Nikki. Do it for the bees.
Yeah.
I'd love to take the class, or
Yeah. So
get some training.
Yeah, that's great. That's once people get hooked, they really are hooked. So, but it's the main thing in our area is just the Africanization. It's totally changed. That and the varroa mites, the parasites of the bees, have really changed beekeeping around here. Used to be a lot. You can just take a beehive out in your garden, whatever, harvest honey once a year, and it would do fine. But it's not that way anymore. You can do preventative things along the way and help it out, and they're not going to survive. Or either going to die or they're going to turn Africanized.
Yeah.
Africanized bees, which are honeybees, they're the same genus species or subspecies. So they're very close to red. They readily cross. The European honeybees and the African honeybees readily cross. So you can't look at them you can't tell by looking at them if you're Africanized just how their temperament is. And so, Africanized honeybees have some resistance to the varroa mites. And so your beehive in our area anyway is either going to die or going to be superseded and become Africanized. They're better adaptive.
Yeah.
At least in this area, they're a tropical species. They were imported to South America in the 50s to help produce a hardier bee to cross it with the European bee, which was kept there at that time. And I think they only imported like 6 queens, and they thought that those genes would be diluted within the broader population, but actually have dominated.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
So this is our own fault.
Yeah.
Man has created this beast.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So, there is a range. They don't do well with cold. So, Oklahoma, it's about the extent of them right now. From there over to Arizona, Southern California. If you go east, the rainfall, they don't do well with that. So East Texas, they're not as prevalent there and going east.
Are you talking about bees in general or just Africanized bees?
Africanized bees.
Oh, okay.
And so, which used to, beekeepers it was a lot easier to keep bees going because you could produce your own queens. And we can't do that here in our area safely because they may become Africanized. So any bees, we work with Africanized bees ourselves in our out apiaries, we'll keep them here. But if we're going to sell any bees, we will import a domesticated queen from an area outside of the Africanized area and install her and sell that, which we're not going to, propagate.
Yeah.
Just come and see for yourself. So it's either going to be the second or third Saturday of May that we're doing the class. We've done 3 so far this spring. So.
Thank you very much. It was fun. I had fun.
Thank you. It was great meeting you.
Sir.
Take care. So, what was it like playing with some bees?
It's not as scary as you think. It was a swarm. It was a swarm. but
Uh-oh.
It wasn't that bad.
Killer bees.
Killer bees. But yeah, it was good stuff. Come see it. Oakley's Apiary on Robinson Road.